Hey family, welcome to Family Meeple. I'm Raymond. This is Chronicles of Drunagor. This is the all-in master pledge. We're going to get unboxing. Okay, so we've cleared a bit of space, manoeuvred some boxes around, and there are plenty of them. This is the original core box. You see, we have a seal of excellence from the Dice Tower, of course. And yeah, I was really excited when I saw this one coming about. I missed the first campaign, had the opportunity to go in all in and gather the original campaign contents, all the Kickstarter goodies, the stretch goals, etc., and then all of the new campaign content as well. So yeah, thought why not take that opportunity. So let's flip this over. Look at the beasties. The artwork in this throughout is just phenomenal. Really impressed. And how they've captured, as so many companies do nowadays, but how they've captured so well the transition from the on the page art to the actual sculpting of the miniatures as well. So hopefully be able to demonstrate some of that for you today in this unboxing. So let's, without much further ado, start digging in. Okay, so what do we have? An unspeakable evil, a darkness spreads across the land, bringing corruption, terror, and death. Age of Darkness is a fully cooperative strategy board game, of tactical combat, dungeon crawl style adventure for 1 to 5 players. One of the unique things I like this was about the 3D environment. So you actually get to build layers in the dungeon, and that gives your heroes either advantage or disadvantage when you're trying to attack and take on the minions and the beasties and the baddies. Each adventure offers unique challenges and opportunities for heroes, but it's not only monsters that they must overcome within the dungeon, as darkness itself has a mind of its own. So again, it's one of the other things that I thought was really unique and nice about this, was as you continue to play through the game, you have this creeping darkness that spreads throughout the dungeon. And again, that gives you negatives. If you are on the darkness, gives the baddies benefits and advantages if they are on the darkness as well. So there's a bit of strategic play, tactical play in that as well. But if you will, none of the numbers should fall to wounds of corruption, the darkness will be victorious. So it's very much a traditional hack and slash. It's very simple mechanics, rules wise, game wise. Again, one of the things that I liked about this. So let's dig in and see what we have. So we start off with lots of books. Treacle wrapping. Okay, let's get this open. To the floor. Okay, so the Age of Darkness interactions book. So as you play through the various dungeon adventures, there'll be scenarios where you complete a room or a number of rooms that are tied together, and then you'll encounter something or someone, and you have to make a choice. So there are various pits. Again, the graphics are just beautiful. I mean, it's just done such an astounding piece of work with these graphics. So very quick, cheeky flick. Okay, I'm not going to spend any time in there. Obviously, this whole thing is full of spoilers, so I say that up front. But Creative Game Studios did a fantastic job in the production and the quality, and I know they've been working with I can't remember his name now. Michael, just to try and get this stuff done. So here, this is the example interaction. So this is a fairly spoiler free, but what you'll have is you'll complete the first room or a couple of rooms, and then it will say, okay, you've now got to the point where you come to the end and you've got this old lady with a little girl. What do you want to do? Do you want to step away and leave them alone? Do you want to try and calm the lady down? Do you want to talk to the little girl? And then you go to particular storylines, and then that would determine what happens next. And one of the key things with this is you never have the opportunity to go back and try a different storyline unless you play through it again. That's the deal, folks. It's a one and done, massive rolling adventure, plenty of interactions in the core box. And you've seen how many extra boxes I've got. They are all full of additional contents, goodies, baddies. It's amazing. Okay, so we've got the adventure book. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Love it. Okay, let's try not to do too many spoilers, but yeah, here we go. So these are, I believe, some of the interactions then that you'll get. I've got no idea what any of this stuff is, alright, to be honest. There you go, interludes and lots of storylines and glorious artwork. The adventure book. The prologue. And one of the other things I loved about this as well was I'm not big on tons and tons of reading. These guys come with an app for this core box. So the core box has an app. You can go to the Foreteller app, and you can, sorry, it doesn't have an app. It has the audio being fully narrated and dramatized with the music and everything by Foreteller. So you can go and download the Foreteller app, purchase the audio for this, which obviously I got as part of the Kickstarter, and all of this content here is fully dramatized throughout. Fantastic. Love it. Okay, so what else have we got here? The rulebook. There we go. So you can see there's quite a bit to the rulebook, but a lot of it just goes into tremendous detail to rule out the ambiguities, particularly around, well, if you've got this item and that item, or if you've got, I'm up here and they're down there and this, that and the other. So it really does try and do, and you see the whole thing is just full of lots of imagery, examples of content. But I've watched some of the basic playthroughs, and certainly the basics of this game are very, very basic, which is brilliant for me. Love a simple game that means I'm not going to continually keep referencing the rulebook, changing stuff, looking up stuff. Love that. Okay, that's an exciting part. I'm going to put that aside for a moment. These look like they might be, I'll come back to those. Okay, so this is your campaign, I believe, a campaign level. So yeah, so as you start to play, so you choose your character, you choose their abilities, and you would fill in this form. Is that focusing? You would fill in this paperwork, and you keep track of your character as you progress throughout the game. So as you level up, and you've got your different sort of skills and roles and items and armor and all sorts of goodies, you get a good pad of those. We have a start here. So the nice thing with the start here is this is the quick guide. So rather than having to sit down and go through all those rules, you can work through this quick guide, and it tells you, okay, here's a character, choose this character, take some cubes, set up your character, this is their starting armor and their starting weapon. Now let's begin, let's go and find those particular map tiles. So what you have is these map tiles that will form on the storage units that actually give you a 3D aspect to the play in this dungeon crawl, as you can see there. And then, yeah, as determined by the number of players that you're playing, it will then identify how many of the bad guys that you have to encounter. And there's opportunities then to gain shields and do damage and vice versa, etc, etc. So this kind of gives you a very quick start, and then there you go. There's that, that image that we saw earlier included here. for your interactions and ending the adventure. So it gives you a very quick one shot, so you get an idea of how the gameplay works. Oh, I like that. That is beautiful. Wow, that comes through so well on the camera as well. That is gorgeous. I love that. I do like the attention to detail of just little things like that. But that is beautiful, and I like the fact that it's a good sized bag. I'm not going to be struggling to get my hand in and out. Like it, love it. That's beautiful. Really impressed with that. Okay, barely even scratched the surface. Let's dig into some of these tiles then. So, as I mentioned, and we'll not see them yet because they're clearly buried under all the cardboard, but we'll get there. So, as you play out the various scenarios, what you'll get is it will tell you need to select a particular map tile, so they're all labelled here, so C10, C9, etc. So, and you can see they've got all different kinds of environments that you're going to be interacting with. So you've got outside, and looks like the edge of a farmland, and in the water. Look at that. Just the artwork is beautiful. You've got like maybe a ship or something, and stony streets, and wow. And then obviously all of these are double-sided as well. Oh, lots of darkness. That's not good. I don't want to discover where that room is. There we go. Fantastic. Just loving this. The artwork is stunning. Really is stunning. So yeah. So we've got C. Number F and C number B. There we go. So that's maybe C for core, perhaps, is my assumption and thinking there, maybe. We'll see. So I'll pop those back away for the moment. And then obviously a lot more stunning artwork in there. And this was a big thing, again, that really interested me in this. So I spent many hours playing through Gloomhaven. I thoroughly enjoyed Gloomhaven. I had some friends that I played it with, and one of the comments from certainly one of them was that he didn't really feel the sense of the story, that it was really tangible as you played through the adventure, and that sense of you're working towards something, or there was something being discovered and unveiled, and etc. So for me personally, I could follow that along. I didn't have any issues with that. But one of the things that was always a bugbear with the original Gloomhaven, they certainly did address in Frosthaven, was when you came to setting up a campaign on the table, you'd open the adventure book and it would say, okay, this is what you need to lay out, get these map sections, and this is where all the baddies are going to be. But it would show you the setup for each room right across the board. So inadvertently, means you always knew what was going to be coming. You know, you knew, there's going to be treasure in that room, there's going to be baddies, these baddies over here, and this, that, and the other. And that was a bit of a spoiler in terms of your tactics, and you think, I'm going to hold this card back because I know I'm going to need that ability when it comes to fighting that particular thing. One of the things I loved about this was when you get to the end of your section and it says this is where your door's going to be, these are the doors that you get. So you would fold this up like so, and that sits into the tray. And when you get to that door, you can scan it, and they've got an app where it will vary what gets revealed beyond that door. So it's continually changing for you, your experience of playing the game. Or you can go with what's printed and preset in the actual game set. So it'll give you a bit of a script, it'll tell you what tiles you need to set up for the next piece, and some bits and bobs around what you're going to discover. And as you can see, there are lots of these doors. I've got no idea what those are. Portals, perhaps? Maybe. And more doors. And you can see you get multiples of the same number. So you can potentially, maybe, I don't know, oh no, in fact they are all different chapters. They are all different chapters. So it does say chapter 17. And one of the things they brought out with the follow-up expansion set, let me not confuse those. There we go, so number 2 there for chapter 7. Ooh, pretty little different doors. And one of the things they brought out with the latest Kickstarter was a storage solution that meant actually you could organise all of that content with all of the expansion content and just make it so much simpler and easier to play, to set up, to play through. Love it. Okay, we have tons of punchboard. Let's dig into punchboard. And then you can see we've got a whole stack of plastic as well. So, and this is thick. This is super thick punchboard. Wow. Okay. Great. Let's stick these in. So we have a whole ton of tokens on here. Why am I not getting in? And apologies if I'm snuffling and what have you and sound a bit. I've had this, as you saw it at the beginning of the video, I've had this set up on my table for the last 5 days and I haven't been able to touch a thing. I have been absolutely sick as a dog. I've been in bed. I'm stood here now in a fever, in a sweat, but I'm so keen to get this unboxed and share this with you that I'm doing it. Okay, so, wow, okay, like all these. No idea what any of this stuff is, but it looks cool. So we've got lots of darkness. So these are the permutations of the darkness that come out. And they're numbered as well. So I like that. 1 of 6. 2 of 6. Lots of icons, lots of different conditions. Things you can suffer as you're playing through the game. Excellent. So spares. I like that. And here we go. And these are really cool as well. So these are bridge tiles. So in the same as I mentioned, you get these, and you're going to come into them in a moment. You get trays that you're actually building the dungeon on to give it that 3D effect. Some of them you actually have bridge capability when you lay out the map. So you might be bridging over a massive chasm. And it only include maybe game rules that say you could push someone off of that chasm and kill them that way, or something like that. So awesome, love it. And then this was one of the other things that was really unique about this was, and I've not come across this before, and I think initially, if I'm completely honest, it did leave me a bit concerned, particularly having played something like Gloomhaven, where every turn you're determining your initiative based on what it is you're going to do, and I think that smacks very much of that kind of Dungeons and Dragons, that D&D role-playing RPG experience. With this one, it seems to be slightly different, and I'm not quite sure yet as to how this is going to work, but essentially what you have is you have an initiative chart, table, line, and it determines what events are occurring in what order. And one of the things it talks about is when you choose your character, you choose what particular nuance they want to be taking in terms of their skill set, I think it is. I'm struggling for words because I haven't obviously I've not read the rules yet, yeah? So defender, leader, controller, they would all go first, in that order, and then it would go to support, and then striker, and then rune, whatever a rune is. And then likewise, if you have baddies that have maybe they're putting darkness out, they might occur at different points in the game as well. But this is effectively how it will track. Yeah, so every time it comes around. Now, what I was concerned about was how that would practically work, but we'll see. that was one of my concerns, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. Okay, and then we get all of these wonderful trays. This was a really pinnacle aspect of this fantastic game system. So these, I believe, also act as your save game trays. So when you set up your first character and you've got all your character components and all their particular cards and items and stuff like that, when you want to store the game, you say, okay, right, I've played through that scenario, I'm going to put it all away now, play some other stuff, come back in a couple of weeks' time, play the next scenario. That's what these are. So the save trays for your characters, like the really good quality on there. They're not going to be splitting in a hurry, so that's good. It's always good. And I do like that they've got the extra detail on there. I mean, that's good quality thickness, that is. Love it. So yes, you'd store your components in here. So these are your save trays, and all of the cards, I believe, throughout the whole of this system are, I'm guessing they're standard American size. So, yeah, as you play through the game, there'll be various cards, items. I mean, that one's a wandering monster event card, so clearly there's events that can happen in addition and beyond opening doors. It's all run on a D20 system, so you get a nice 20-sided dice. As well as it looks like a condition dice as well. I do like the quality of that. That's very nice. Graphics come out beautifully on those. Lots of dice, so you get your icons on the back, make it lots of dice, lots of cards. You get your icons on the back, make it nice and quick and easy to see what it is you're looking at. So plenty of content here. Agility skills, treasure items. And yes, when I backed the Kickstarter, of course, I got sleeves for all of these. So that will be yeah. I think I'll be sat down watching some Christmas movies with the kids and sleeving cards. I think that'll be what my activity will be after this video. So what have we got? Oh, flexibles like that. Do like that. So with something like Simon's Zombicide, you get these that you fit onto your characters to denote who they are, what colour they are, etc. They're great, they're fine. Ones in Zombicide tend to be hard. I like these are soft, so you're not going to be damaging your paint job on your minis like that. Attention to detail, very nice, excellent. And then bigger ones as well for big monsters, of course. So we've got those. We have some character sheets, and then organisations, and then we've got some more map tiles. So these are B. So we've got some dual ones there. So these are your heroes, and I've got an upgraded one of these, which is nice. So let's have a look. So these are the heroes that we can play, and then we also have the Undead King. This will be the big baddie at the end that we'll be fighting against. I've got no idea. Is that his hit points? 900? What? Maybe. And then we've got a bunch of conditions for the various monsters that we're fighting against. And the camp. So when you camp up between scenarios, between dungeons, you follow these steps and you get to camps. You can recover from poison and burn and bleed and all that kind of stuff. So very much in the ilk as tradition, from a kind of role-playing perspective. Very good. And then heroes. So look, so we have Elros, the elf assassin, and then you get a full story for him as well. Wow. Jahim, a human cleric, Lorelei, elf mage, Maya, a human ranger, Vaughn, the dwarf warrior. Back to the beginning. So the way that the characters work, again, very simple. So what you would have is you would put cubes. When you draw your character, you put cubes on your character, and it will say you have maybe 2 yellow, 1 green, 1 blue, 1 red. And then when you go to take an action, you could put a yellow cube over here, you could put a green cube, red cube, etc. When you run out of all your cubes, you have to pull them back, recover those cubes, and that puts out a black cube, a curse cube. If you get to the point of 6 curse cubes on your character, then your character is exhausted and you've lost. And obviously then you also have your life tracker as well. Now I did see something with a life tracker that suggested the first time around you get knocked out and then you reset, and so you potentially have 2 goes around your life track. But I don't know if that's correct or not, so I'll find out as I read the rules. But it is, you've got that bit of longevity in there, and as I say, it is a 1 to 5 player, so you can play completely solo. So unlike something like Gloomhaven, where you had to play double-handed to play solo with 2 characters, this one you can actually properly play solo. So again, really looking forward to that, and it just adds to, as a solo player, the variability of play, because you get to then focus on a particular character, play through the campaign, then you can choose a different character and then make different decisions, and you will see different nuances of the campaign whilst you're playing through a very different experience of playing the actual game as well, which I really, really like. So let me come on to some storage. So this storage here is for the shadow, the darkness that we were just looking at in there, and then we've got some storage here for a number of the tokens we were looking at, and then talking of tokens, we have more storage here, and this is for the many tokens that come as part of the game. And it was one of the complaints from the original campaign production was just around accessibility, but they listened, and these guys have continually listened to the community throughout everything, which is fantastic. And then we get on to minis. Wow, and there are a lot of minis. So let's have a look at some of these minis that we get and the quality of what we have. Whoop. There we go. Fantastic. I don't know if it will do it. Will it catch up and focus? How is that coping? It's not too bad. So yes, lots of minions, and this is where the coloured rings come in. So when you summon a particular baddie, you put a colour ring on it, and that determines the ability to track, which particular instance it is of that bad guy as they take damage and conditions, etc. And I presume these are the heroes we were just looking at. So let's see. I'm a sucker for a dwarf. So let's have a look at the dwarf. Whoop. Is that going to zoom in there? There you go. Excellent. Fantastic. Love that. But yeah, I mean, the detail on these are phenomenal, as you definitely have come to expect. I mean, the standards every day are getting so tremendous. And this is, here we go. So this is a map. Whoop. This is what I was saying. So you put your boards down, and then you take one of your doors, so that door that I'd folded up earlier, and then it would just slot into there. So you know that as you approach down the dungeon that you have a door coming, but you don't know what is going to be beyond that door. So this was one of the big unique selling points of this, was the multi-tiered capability. And you see these do tuck into one another as well. So you do get multiple copies of these, so there will be maps, it's a bit tight, and scenarios and campaigns where you will have multiple of these set up back to back, side to side, etc. And as I mentioned, what you get is you get advantage or disadvantage for your heroes as they're either above or below whatever it is that they're attacking from a terrain perspective. Which again, it's just great, just so unique, and they just make it pop so much on the table. You get just a whole bag of cubes. Fantastic. I wasn't expecting that many. I don't know why. It just makes me laugh. Brilliant. So yeah, so the black cubes then are certainly, from what I've understood thus far, is these are the cursed cubes. So 6 of those on your character board, you're done. There are multiple coloured cubes representing different skills and abilities that you can use. Generally, the skills are broken down into things like close combat, your range combat, your defense abilities. There are permanent abilities that are just active all the time. Excuse me. And these, yeah, brilliant, fantastic. So loving that. And then you get a bunch of big baddies, or bigger and big. Wow. So that's some kind of an ogre style creature there. And the level of detail on these, the thing I love about the level of detail is it just makes them such a delight to paint, which is brilliant. You know, the efforts that the sculptors put in, for someone like myself who enjoys painting these miniatures, it makes that experience just so much more fun and such more of a delight. And there's our big baddie when you get to the end of the campaign. Awesome. Fantastic. Oh, beautiful. Brilliant. Okay, so that is everything that you get in the core box. As you can see, there is a lot of game here, folks. So that is everything you get in a core box. I'm going to pack this away and we'll move on to the stretch goals. I'll see you back in a mo. Okay, so Spoils of War is the stretch goals box. Came with Chronicles of Drunagor. When an enemy threatens a whole continent, heroes of every kingdom rise up to the challenge. From the farthest corners of Drunagor, masters of very different skills and styles join forces to fight this otherworldly force that came to conquer the free folk. Summoning otherworldly powers and arcane nature, faith of pure strength and cunning. Will these allies be the salvation the world needs, or will they succumb to the corruption within? It's due to discover. These stretch goals bring more fun and excitement with new heroes featuring new classes that give another layer of strategy and battle-oriented interactions. Excellent. There you go. The world desperately needs heroes to face this great evil, protect us from the up and coming age of darkness. Yeah. Fantastic. let's see what goodies came with the original campaign stretch goals. I do like the look of that. Very nice. Whoop. There we go. So we get a what's included, and one of the things that they included in here actually was, and I think they extended this out as part of the stretch goals, was a different way of managing the character board. So you got, in this one, you get 12 new heroes, but you also introduced, here we go, this new way of managing the hero boards. So let's have a look at these. These are all very nice, very nice. They're good quality. There we go. And they're double-sided as well. Okay, wasn't expecting that. There we go. So Maya was one of the original I showed you already. So this is the same character, but slightly different layout on the board. So you put all the equipment down here, and you manage the cubes over here, rather than down the side. So it's just different layouts. There we go. But it means we've now upgraded to having, so it was the elf assassin. There's Jaheen in the first box, Lorelei, Vaughn. So we've got the new ones are the human barbarian now, a draconian paladin. I do like draconians. We have Lord Wrath, the human shadow knight, special character card. So he was an expansion character that came. So I actually have him in a separate box, which I'll be digging into next. Barak, the orc sorcerer. Love it. Flavian, halfling bard. Savran, a human druid. And Sun, a human monk. And of course, because these are all double-sided, so we now have 23, I believe. Yes, 23 characters we can play with in advance from the original 11, I think it was. We've got human ranger, we've got an Efreet assassin. I do like they've got a lot of variety here. Not just the very typical sort of humans and elves and orcs. But yeah, so they've got dwarf warrior, as you'd expect. Orc barbarian. I do like a good barbarian. Human paladin. Vampire shadow knight. I do like that. He's got a cute little dragon on his shoulder. Love it. A draconian sorcerer. Beautiful. Human bard. I do like that. I'm interested in playing a bard now. Halfling druid. And that one isn't double-sided for the monk. Excellent. Love those. Fantastic. We have, again, very, very thick plastic on there, which is great. So lots more cards to dig into. I won't bore you with those, but lots of skills and abilities. And then lots of new minis. Let's have a see if we can get a focus in on some of those. Is that working? I think so. I like the multi-sword. Oh, I don't know what it's trying to focus on there. And then a dual-headed dude. There's an Etin, I think, officially. And then some kind of a... What is that? It's like a little mini sandworm. Beastie. Camera seems to be struggling today. There we go. those. Wow, even more minis. And furniture and animals. Whoop. Pets. Oh, I'm liking this. Oh, just lost my mic. Stood on myself. Those are great. Some fantastic minis in there. And we've got treasure chests. A little doggy. What is that? That halfling. Oh my gosh. That is so tiny. That is so tiny. Look. My thumb. He is so tiny. Wow. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Where's that vampire? That's what I want to see. Where's a vampire with a dude on his shoulder? Oh, I'm not seeing him. Oh, I'm not seeing him. Oh. Maybe he didn't have a dude on his shoulder when he came to doing the mini. Perhaps. Never mind. Maybe he comes as a separate dude instead. Perhaps. That is tiny. That's awesome. I like that. That is very cool. That is very cool. Sorry. Clip myself back together. Okay. So, lots of minis. And then we have... so these are, I believe, a skill tree. So as you progress your character, you can develop different skills. So I don't know exactly how these match up ultimately with the sort of the hero class. So it says hero class assassin. So you get deadly arts, trickery, acrobatics, and then shadow arts. So you can progress in different routes and unlock specific skills. So whenever you roll a 16 or above, the attack gains +1 damage. So things like that. Yeah, very excited to see how that all ties up with all the new characters. And then you got obviously the same characters with their full history in the original format. There we go. So these are the new characters that come. This one's Iconos, the human mage. There we go. Yeah, look, it definitely should have had a dude on his shoulder. There we go. And this is what I'm saying. So the yellows are for the physical attack, the melee. The reds are for ranged attack. And then you get the other abilities. So P for grey is passive, so it's just always active. And you see it changes. So in this one, he's always got an active. So human druid always has an active melee, which is interesting. Be interesting to see how all that. But it's such a variety of different skills and abilities. Love it. Druids, always love a good druid. And then these were the dungeon roll. So I think this pertains then to the initiative board that we were looking at earlier. So what is their role and how does that fit? And that's it. And you get a ginormous tray at the bottom to fit everything into. So there we go. So that's what comes in the... So these were the stretch goals that were unlocked as part of the original campaign. Seems to not want to sit flat. They were definitely there. Definitely there. Yeah, it's like there's something else underneath. Are they upside down? Okay, that's bizarre. Okay, they go back in there. Excellent. So lots of nice extra goodies that came with that box. So I'm going to gradually build this wall in front of me and you won't see me anymore. What do we have next? So we have some one-off characters. So this is Handuril, and this is a hero miniature and a player board and 5 cards. There we go. This was an extra character, so only the rarest of individuals can walk the path of nature and assume the mantle of a ranger. The elf Hunduril is one of them, foregoing the comforts of his noble birth to protect the wild from the darkness. His bow and knives are invaluable aids to any band of heroes. There we go. So this is a expansion set. Extra character. Try and get in without destroying the box. There we go. It's always part of the fun, I find, is trying to work out when things come all sealed and you're trying to work out what's the best way to get into a box without just completely destroying everything. So here he is. Here we go. Fantastic. So there he is. That's his character sheet. So I think some of those we saw as extras as well in the stretch cog box. So you got a character sheet, get some cards on them. So there we go. So when you choose your character and the different levels that they are, they'll get different cubes that are allocated to them. Sorry, let me stand up here. There you go. So when you choose a character, you get pre-allocated a number of cubes, and that determines what actions they get throughout the game. Oh, flippin' heck. The detail is just tremendous. Really is. I wish that I had a setup that would do it justice for you guys to appreciate. But it really is beautiful. There's tremendous level of detail on there. It's fantastic. Loving that. Okay. So let's have a look. Lorien, likewise. Few heroes in Darren can claim to freely master the ancient art of magic. Lorien is such a hero. Wielding this power at her will, she is definitely a thorn on the enemy's side. Very good. So, elf mage. Oh. So we have her cards, a passive melee attack. Interesting. And then her tokens, cards at different levels, and her figure. Oops, sorry. Distracting myself. Loving the detail on that cloak. That's going to come up beautiful. Very good. And they're all just going to look so great when you set them up on the table. You know, these things are painted up and you set them up on the table. And just the level of table presence, phenomenal. And this was quite a unique one, I believe, as well. Lord Wrath. I think the original Kickstarter had a like a code name before they announced what the final official name was going to be. And this one comes with 9 cards as opposed to 6 for the other heroes. He said, merely to gaze upon the undead king's phylacterium can instantly corrupt the most noble of heroes, but some are strong enough to seize the darkness within it and turn it into a weapon. Commander Lord Wrath is one such champion, but is he a force of good or a force of darkness? Interesting. So maybe this is a character that has the potential ability to utilize the darkness, maybe even manipulate the darkness, perhaps. Very interesting. Here we go. So, there's his character card. Value of X in your skills equal to the number of curse cubes you are holding. Yep. Very good. And his backstory. And yeah, so we've got definitely got some different cards. So a Shadow Knight class. So yeah, definitely indicating he's going to be controlling that darkness in some way, manipulating it, utilizing it, maybe even benefiting from it. Very interesting. Again, just very, very different means of play, which I thoroughly enjoy. Excellent. So they were the additional heroes that came as purchasable add-ons. Then we had a monster pack. So the call of the darkness spread far and wide, luring horrors undreamt out of the shadows. In this box you'll find 2 new monsters and a powerful mini-boss to challenge your heroes. Do you dare to face these hideous creatures of darkness? There we go, so just extra baddies that can be added into the fray. And the notion of a mini-boss on the way to seeing through the big bad boss, perhaps. An extra stage of competition and complication. There we go. Let's see if we can... wow, that is tight. I can't get in! Yeah. Oh, no, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Wow. Have to work hard to get into that one. Woo! Wow, okay. Nice. Lots of minis. Some cards. More cards. Love it. Wow. Ooh, let's get in. I do like these. Do you know what it reminds me of that one there with the... Oh, I don't think that's going to work, is it? That one there with the... Does that help any? No. Let's go back to that. That one reminds me of Harry Potter. That scene in the Goblet of Fire. The gravestone grabs him and pins him with a scythe. That's what that reminds me of. Oh, these look like... Oh, at first glance, I thought they might have been giant Skaven kind of creatures. Off the camera, apologies. There we go. Hopefully that's coming through. Again, just tremendous detail on these. Very good. And then of course you have your mini boss. I love this mini boss. It's freaking huge! Look at that. Fantastic. Wow. phenomenal. And I reiterate again, can't wait to get these to the painting table. Just fantastic. Big baddies. Like some big baddies. Cool. Pop those cards down there. So what other expansions? So in addition to buying, I'll tell you what, let's have a look. There was another hero class. Oh, these are mad. These are mad. What's this? Now this must be story as well as heroes. This has got to be story as well as heroes, surely. Something rumbles beneath the shifting sands of the sun-kissed Hellscar. Even in a land scorching daylight, darkness and its minions spread their corruption and evil. For generations, a tribe of men and orcs that call Hellscar have held the darkness at bay, and now the most fearless of these barbarians are stepping forward. But can their fury and courage push back the darkness? There we go. Wow. And this one was, for me, I mean, looking at the cover work, it just absolutely had those Dune vibes, you know. And I can remember growing up as a kid with the original Dune. But yeah, it's just fantastic. I love that. And Tremors, that was the other one that did it for me. Tremors, love that. Another classic 80s movie. Here we go. So we got the Chronicles of Drunagor. This is the Desert of Hellscar. Here we go. So yeah, so you get a full-on adventure book with, looks like it's got some interactions and all sorts in there. So that's full-on. Comes with its own small selection of map tiles out in the desert. And oh, you get some more map tiles. Here we go. That was a bit thin otherwise. There we go. Very good. I did wonder. Excellent. And I think we may have seen these already. Here we go. And that's the big baddie. And however that attacking works. And what have we got in here? I don't know. This is weird. Okay. This is strange. These are all flipped out, but that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So these are like little. I think these are effectively the talons, the claws of the sand beast. The tendrils as it reaches out. And before we go into the others, look at that! That is huge. That is huge. Yep. Loving that. That's great. Whoop. And so look, so we got two new heroes. I think I should wear flipping black gloves if I'm going to do this. Go. Walk barbarian. Do love a barbarian. We've got more treasure chests in there. Some more cards to work through. And some more doors. Those on top. Very good. So you get a bit of adventure in that one, as well as obviously another boss to fight. And we have an adventure pack. So this is gameplay content. So the heroes of Drunagor struggle mightily against the darkness to keep the light of hope alive. But beyond the edge of reality there sits another world, one where darkness has already claimed dominion over all. dare to bring the light to the shadow world and face horrifying creatures of pure evil. But beware, for wherever there is light, there are shadows. Excellent. Oops, not quite getting in there. There we go. We're in. Oops. And this is so this was an extra purchasable expansion. There we go. Adventure pack. Extra story to play through. So what have we got? So we've got the adventure book itself. Nice. There we go. So we've got some new map tiles, 8 monster cards. We've got 4 Shadow Guardian miniatures, 4 Shadow Pain miniatures. Well, they sound delightful. 5 new doors. There we go. And then, of course, the story itself, which would include, I'd imagine, look at that artwork. Love it. That is beautiful. Yeah, you get scenarios where you can, those interactions, of course. There we go. So some more cards, some more tiles. Look at some of those tiles. Oh, very shadowy. Yeah, I could appreciate that. Like a darkened world. Very good. Oh, spike pit traps. I'm going to step on those. Oh, some mystical tentacle things. More water. I think we've seen similar to that before. Oh, that's different. Very good. And then, of course, the doors have quite a different design on them as well. Something here. There we go. Very nice. And then let's have a look at the monsters. Whoop. So we have 4 of these. I'm not even sure I'm looking at myself, to be honest. There we go. Focus now. There's definitely a place where the head should be. That is much of a head there, but that is intentional, which is the main thing. And then we got goatman-like creatures. That is. Well. So there's a bit of a mini campaign there. We had a second adventure pack, which was the Ruin of Lucanor. Amid the storm-tossed coasts of the deep sea, long-lost cities of bygone age lure the gold-hungry. The bravest, or most foolish, of these sailors is the noble Admiral Lucanor, who recently returned to the port of Umbral aboard his flagship Sea Wing. But 'twas an ill wind that carried the ship, now enshrouded by a plague fog, and said to be haunted. Do you dare to step aboard the corrupted vessel and face the hideous creatures of the depths that claim it for their own, to learn the fate of the Admiral and his crew? Very good. Let's have a look. See what we get. We're in. There we go. We're in. So, what goodies do we have in this one? So the components, we have 4 Ravagers, 4 Lady Claw miniatures, 8 new monster cards, an adventure book, 9 new map tiles, all sea-based, and 3 folding doors. The Commander Luchador. There we go. And a quick flick through. And of course we have our own little interactions, specifically for this expansion. Oh wow, they are quite a bit bigger as well than the other one. So we get the doors, all pre-folded in this one. So have a quick look at some of these maps. Very nice. There's on the ship. And the bow at the front of the ship, I would guess. I like these. Big dudes. Big dudes. Let's have a look. Biggish dudes, medium-sized dudes. Claws, tentacles. Oh. So 4 of those, like that. And 4 Lady Claws. 4 of these. Oh. Very good. Look at that. So we've got that adventure pack. Then we have a slightly bigger adventure pack. Rise of the Undead Dragon. So this expansion comes with 2 new heroes of a new class of Paladin. There we go. A new danger threatens the land of Drunagor. Soaring on soundless wings, a horrifying drake has returned from beyond the gates of death itself to ravage the countryside and establish its own reign of terror. But great threats bring out the most noble of champions. Mighty paladins heed the call for heroes. But can their martial prowess and holy might turn back the darkness? Excellent. Even more treasure chests in this one. We're certainly not going to run out of treasure chests. I think even just in the core initial box, I think there's probably 30 across all the core game. Oh, it's a big box! It's a big box. Goes all the way down. Oh, there it is. Awesome. Let's have a look. So we have the Rise of the Undead Dragon. Excellent. Yeah, so we've got some interactions. Look at that. See, that's beautiful artwork. It's gorgeous. Love it. New map tiles. No giveaways there. There's maybe some kind of a tower, perhaps. I have to scale. There's definitely some ritual going on there. And more sort of cultist-ish. Dear me. Got another new hero, but again, yes, we've seen these again in the alternative means. Oh, a big map. Big map. There we go. Oh, flippin' heck. Wow. That is huge. Yeah. Wow. Truly vast. Wow, that is fantastic. Brilliant. Love a good dragon. Okay. So, and then we've got a little one at the bottom. I love that. Fantastic. Little tray hiding at the bottom. Brilliant. Now, I've not really paid much attention to these treasure chests. There might be slightly different sort of nuances in the design. I mean, these ones look like they've definitely got like dragon heads on them. And I appreciate it's probably just not even coming up on the camera at all, is it? Wait, there you go. Do like that. So I do reckon, yeah, they maybe are all unique from that perspective. Lots of new cards, a whole stack of new doors, so that's good. Going through the adventure. So who we got? So we got some baddies. Is that even focusing? Yeah. No. Just not quite seeing his head. His tiny, tiny head. And of course, the paladins. And again, just the detail. I mean, you can see the finery of the lines and everything. Just incredible work. Incredible sculpts. Oh, I love that one. They put on a shield. There's the back of that one. Look at the detail on that shield. I mean, that is stunning. And again, it's just going to be such a delight to paint, which is great. Fantastic. Loving it. So, pop that back in there. Of course, Mr. Nibs. Whoop. Go back in there. That is huge. That is huge. Love it. Love it. That one first. Everything else on top. There we go. Oh, that's what it was. I was wondering, I was thinking, why does it feel like I'm missing something? There it is. Excellent. We're nearly through the first campaign. So, we had, in the first campaign, the Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness player trays. So, I mentioned about, obviously, all these cubes, and there are people that I think made reference to the cubes, and I think talked about the advantage of the slightly smaller layout design, but with the notion of those then having trays to better manage liking that. There we go. So what we have then is you put your player character here, and then when you have your items, they would go down here. When you have your skills and abilities as you're leveling up, they would go down here. As you spend cubes to utilize either the items or your skills and abilities, either innate or that you've gained as you've leveled up and progressed throughout the game, it would all be managed within this tray system. You have the ability to stand some cards up at the top, and then you also have these additional trays for something else. I don't know. Sorry. Presumably there'll be other means of tracking bits. Other cards that you might get, and obviously cubes that you'll have to spend to use those cards, and somewhere for your dice to sit. Die to sit. I hadn't realised this. These are beautiful. So when you put your character in, I think these somehow clip onto this, and they slide along, and you can keep track of your health. Love that. Fantastic design. Brilliant. Really simple. Very effective. Does exactly what it needs to do. And yeah, we've got a nice little, they actually did, oh wow, that's just not coming out at all. That's just a red blur. But yeah, so we've got a little design on there, but it matches the icon that they use, so that it all ties in thematically, which is great. I appreciate that. Ooh, so all of the attention to detail. Okay, so the advantage of those game trays, as I say, is primarily the fact that you're not going to have your I'll go back in now. Not going to have cubes just accidentally getting knocked left, right, and centre, which is a big deal. It is a big deal. I've played games of that ilk in the past. I think the biggest one for me that was like that was the original Terraforming Mars. It was a flipping nightmare when you just had all these cubes you were just using to track how many resources you had of this, that, and the other. And it was a great system, but it just fundamentally needed those trays. Can't get them back in. As part of the standard game. Okay, I'm just going to put those to the side for now. There we go. Right. So one of the other things that came as well, because of course you may blitz through all this material and you go, wow, that was fantastic, but I want more. The system's brilliant. I want more. How do I make my own? Build your own dungeon was an extra expansion purchasable item that came as well. So if you do have, you've got one of those, if you are one of those people that actually, particularly, I'm thinking probably role players, you create a lot of your own worlds and stuff. I'm not even going to take them out. I'm not even going to take them out because I'll be like I was just then. I won't get the buggers back in. But these do include a bunch of map tiles, as you can see. So you've got some nice grassy areas, you've got some nice stony areas, and then there's a bunch in here of the actual trays that we've already seen. So the idea is these trays are multi-layers, so you can use these to create your 3D layout of your dungeon and create your own dungeon. So that's that one. Now there was one other box that I've got, and I honestly don't know whether it was part of this campaign, part of the second campaign. I couldn't see it anywhere. The Fallen Sisters. So I'm going to open it here as part of this, as the interlude, if you like. This is the halfway point. Yes, we've reached the halfway point, and you can see I've got this mountain of content piling up in front of me, and we are halfway. And I'm going to have to stop and get a drink because I am ridiculously thirsty. So let's have a look at Fallen Sisters. So what does it say? The Fallen Sisters is a new add-on available for Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness. In this box there is a new Overlord, including new miniature and new Overlord attack cards. With the Fallen Sisters you can replace any random commander or Overlord in order to face new challenges over the course of your adventures. This assures a large variety of choices for your play. There we go. So this is an alternative you can use throughout playing the actual campaigns themselves. Wow. Wow. Okay. Now I see sisters, plural, on one miniature, I was like, what? I don't get it. And now I've seen the miniature, and now I get it. There we go. So you can see them all amalgamated into one. That's impressive. Wow. That's a fantastic sculpt. Stunning. Wow. Very good. Get that out of the right way. Oh, there you go. There's an angle. Oh yes, for the cards. Excellent. There we go. So I think what I'm going to have to do is recompile my pile in some way, shape or form. And I'll be back in a moment. Hey family, so back at the table. So before I dig into the main box, one of the things that came with this, so if you backed the Kickstarter in the first 48 hours, I believe it was, the original campaign, such a beauty. Stood on me microphone again. The initiative tracker that I showed you, so you put out all your characters and what they're doing. You would have a disc that you would move alongside that tracker to indicate whereabouts you are in that initiative order turn, just to keep track of that. So if you backed within the first 48 hours, then you got a nice solid metal coin just to literally help you out on that tracker. But that's a good solid chunk of metal. That's beautiful. So backed within the first 48 hours, I was in. One of the other expansion pieces of content that I purchased was this. So, and I mentioned this earlier about, I showed you the original game does come, and I have obviously these as just pieces of card, the same size as the normal hero boards. So these ones are indented, so these are for tracking your enemies. You've got all your different coloured rings for your enemies to represent their different colours, and then you have these so you can keep track of what their current hit points are depending on how many enemies are on board. I imagine in the main part I'm very rarely going to use more than one playing solo, but I can certainly imagine if you're playing 5 players, you very easily be clocking up those enemies to fight against. Okay, so this then is Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness, Apocolypse. This is the new campaign that has just landed. This is the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. We have, as per, some amazing artwork on the box. Let's flip that around for you. You can appreciate it in its glory. Always like a Cthulhu-esque baddie. Clutching a brain. Chronicles of Drunagor, Apocolypse. The Battle of Drunagor's fate has been a long and dangerous one, but with the new threat coming, it is far from over. The 4 Varatash horsemen are here to test your will once again. Are you able to defeat them and save the world one more time? So this Apocolypse adventure is a new expansion available. Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness. 16 new chapters. You will enjoy a new immersive campaign with new equipment items, adventure items, bosses, map tiles and skill upgrades, along with new monsters to be used as random monsters in any content that you have from the series, as well as new commanders and commander attack cards, so as to add challenge and variety to your gameplay. With an interaction system that makes your choices and performance matter during the game, you will experience a campaign in different ways each time you play. So, let's have a look. Now, one of the things that really impressed me with this that Creative Game Studios did, that which I thought was really interesting, because okay, I backed Cthulhu Death May Die and I backed Marvel Zombies. Okay, both of those are CMON campaigns, and both of those included a giant bigature. Okay, so I've got Galactus on a shelf behind me that I've painted up. I've got Cthulhu on the way, the same size as Galactus. Okay, one of the things that the community asked for time and time again from CMON, and I'm not saying this to have a go at CMON, but this is what happened. It was asked for time and time again, can we have cardboard representation of, so we can buy the gameplay content. We really want to enjoy the gameplay content, but we don't want to have a great big stonking bigature clogging up our shelves. Totally understandable. Never happened. Okay. One of the things I really appreciate about these guys is, I don't know if that came up, if it had to be listened to, or if it was just designed right at the outset. They said, no, we'll give you a 3D standee version of the bigatures, so you can play the game using these cardboard things. You don't have to paint anything. It's all there, ready to go. You can enjoy absolutely all of the content of the game without having to buy these massive miniatures. And then if you do want to, because you want to, not a problem. Here they are. This is, you can buy this separately. Fantastic. Loved it. So here we go again. So you can amplify the Chronicles of Drunagor. So this is the core box adventures with the, as I mentioned earlier, the Fortella app. I really do hope that they're working on more of this, particularly this one. 16 more campaigns, chapters. It'd be great to have that on Audible as well. Fortella. Don't know why I mentioned that one. Anyway, sorry. Audio, yeah, listening to it. Okay, so we've got the Plague Horseman. We've got the Death Horsewoman. And I presume between the two, we'll have famine and war. Is it pestilence and war? Plague. No, plague is pestilence. So there's war and famine. There we go. Oh, loving that. Loving that. They're going to be a delight. Right. So what have we got? Oh, everything's wrapped. Rules and interactions. Why is it all wrapped? I'm confused. The others weren't wrapped, were they? Okay. I'm not entirely sure why there was a need to wrap them. Okay. Maybe just because they're a bit looser, perhaps? Don't know. Maybe more content. I don't know. Interesting. So we've got more interactions, things that you'll be encountering. As well as then obviously gameplay changes to the rules. I think one of the things that was quite key with this as well was the darkness mechanic, I think, was revised. There's an optional alternative for darkness mechanics. I think originally you'd have a baddie that would spawn and then the darkness would creep out from them. Or maybe that's what it is now, and previously it was where the heroes were, that's where the darkness would spawn. So you would always be in this perpetual state of darkness, running away from it. I can't remember. Anyway, So I think there was something in that changed. One of the advantages of ring binding, of course, is you can flip them, which is quite nice. So we get 3 Dream Titan miniatures. That was those Cthulhu-esque dudes. Some Chain Devil miniatures, Faceless Conjurer miniatures, Shadow Witch miniatures, Skeleton Knight miniatures, the Varatash Knight standees, lots of tokens, upgrade tiles, okay, standees, 37 standees, okay, okay, an adventure book, rulebook, story record, pad, lots and lots of cards, and doors. So there we go. So let's have a look. Oh, that's big. Adventure book. Yeah, it's got some heft to it. Not quite sure how to get into these things. I don't want to damage anything. I don't know why they wrapped it. Anyway. There we go. That should be enough to get in. Whoop. There it is. Right. Static. Get out. Get out. Oh, that's a lot. That is a lot. Wow. Wow. Fantastic. Woo. She looks very happy. She looks very happy. Definitely happier than the rest of them. Okay, adventure book. We have a much bigger story record for your party. Okay, there we go. These were wrapped before. That's fine. So, okay. So one of the big things as well then that came with this is not only did Creative Game Studios listen from the perspective of providing their backers or the community with the option to play the game without the need to buy masses of hunking plastic. I can absolutely appreciate. A lot of people don't have space for it, let alone anything else. It was also about the storage. Be able to get a game to the table, put it away, back out and away. It's really important to be able to have a system that works to facilitate that and make that easy. These guys listened and incorporate into this and the next, I think, couple of boxes as to making that much better experience. So we've got a couple of new bridges, lots of new tokens, new conditions that we'll see being introduced in the horseman scenarios. These are dividers. So in the storage solution that you'll see where you can stack all your cards, these will be dividers. So we've got bosses and chests, commanders and overlords, adventure items, camp items, and classes that you can play. I love that. I love that. And these are just incredibly thick card as well. There we go. So this is one of the standees. Look, so you punch out all these individual parts and it creates this great big 3D baddie. It's fantastic. So the option of being able to play the game and reduce the amount of plastic that you're playing, which is great. So you get more. So you've got event deck, black monsters, heroes and allies. Dividers. We've got grey monsters and white monsters. Looks like maybe some more heroes. I was going to say guinea pig, but so you've got one of the big baddies again there. the first part of the ultra big baddie. And some more standees. That's war, and the box that war sits on, and that would be death. Wow, fantastic. And then these are the as you can see, they all come out really well. I haven't even punched anything other than the initiative tracker, as you saw right at the beginning of the video. So yeah, as you can see, all this stuff comes out really nice and easy. So yeah, so then you get a whole bunch of these upgrades. I've got no idea how all that stuff works. So yeah, so we're very interested to see how that incorporates. And you can see we've got lots of them. So again, just ways that you can change and manipulate your characters, develop your characters. Okay, so we get another tray for all your tokens. So that's good. I don't know if I'm going to need both of them, if I only need one of them. We'll see. We have some more map tiles. There we go. That's a well. Very nice. Again, the colours of those just really pop. They've done a tremendous job. So we get some of our baddies that we'll be facing off against. Let's try and get those to a point where they focus. Is that working? Hopefully so. There we go. So they're the baddies we'll be facing off against. Let's put those map tiles back in their respective places. Okay, and you get a big empty plastic box. What? Because this is the storage solution. So this is for the doors. As you remember, I was saying all the doors fold up, and they've all got different numbers on. So they've got the symbol of the particular adventure that door pertains to, and then the numbers that you can put in there. So there'll be alternatives for some of those. So they will fit in there, and then you've got various spaces then for other tokens and some bobs. So just being able to organise that so much better, which is fantastic, and be able to get it out and to the table. Simpler and easier. There we go. So there was the doors, another brand new door design on there. Very good. And these are the Cthulhu-esque dudes. What we saw on the side of the box. There we go, it's got 3 of those, got some standees, and a whole bunch more cards. Pale Death 5, mechanic items, and all sorts of stuff. Excellent. There we go. Those away as they came. Yeah, that was definitely, like I say, having the option of being able to use a standee alternative. Yeah, I know for many it will be a significant aspect of this game compared to many out there in the market. Okay, so of course with backing the main game came the stretch goals. So this is the stretch goals that came. Sorry, grab a drink. Ooh. There we go. So this is Chronicles of Drunagor Awakenings. That's what we have here. So the battle against the darkness began before the Age of Darkness was established, even if the ones involved were not aware at the time. In this epic expansion to Chronicles of Drunagor Age of Darkness, take the role of 4 new heroes in a campaign through the 3 islands of Darren. In this new expansion box you will find 9 new adventures, new heroes, dungeon rolls, lots of new stuff. Cool. Oh, that's a bit weird. Don't know what that is. Coming off, that's what that is. Right, let's have a look. Right. Oh, that's damage on the box. How bizarre. There's some kind of glue. Oh well. Hey, here we go. So, lots more punch boards. So, lots more condition tokens and animals. I don't know. What? Oop, there we go. Okay, we have a party record, so we can keep track of what's happening. Again, this is all plastic wrapped. Not entirely sure why. There you go. Let's try and get in without damaging anything. A bit I always find a challenge. Yeah. There you go. It keeps it together, doesn't it? It keeps it nice and compressed and bound. And maybe that's part of the issue with the ring binding, perhaps. So there, decision making. Right. Adventure Book 1. Chronicles of Drunagor. 188 pages. The interactions and story. Wow. Lots of fantastic artwork throughout, which is great. Here we go. So these are the new dungeon rolls they made mention to. In addition to ones we already had, we get a bunch of new doors, some new tiles. Look at those. Oh. It's even focusing. It's even trying to focus. There we go. These are trying to do like a lava effect. I think that's quite shadowy, that one. Nice room with a bed. Oops. Deep water. Oh yes, you can definitely see some of those water things coming through with these. Wow, okay, here we go. Try and there you go. They're great. Like Medusa, mermaid things. Oops. Loving those. Very good. Oops. Let's have a look. Oh, and this was yeah. So this was a point where lots of people I saw online were getting very excited about this. I confess, it's not a big thing for me, but for those that have other games where you have favourite characters and you're interested in seeing those characters being cross-playable, this is where some of this comes into its own. There you go. So Nyx, I believe, is from another game. So I think all of these are crossover characters from other games that were permitted to be included in here. So it's exciting for those. More token holders. As you can see, there's a lot of tokens in this game. A lot of conditions, a lot of tokens. What's going on? Okay, maybe I'll just take the lid off then. What is under there? Right. Let's start with some of the smaller ones first, shall we? What? I think these have just got nice heroes. Look at that. Come on. What is going on? There you go. Love that shield. Brilliant. Oh. Just a more beast. Yes. There he is. Good. What's this one? There's spines all over him, this one. Very menacing. And then what is that? It's a little, like a mini goblin horde, and they're all just climbing on one another. Is it going to focus? There you go. Brilliant. Ah, here we go. And that was the big crossover character everyone was getting excited with, Nyx. And then this will be the big baddie that you face off against. There he is. Excellent. Ooh, there we go. And more storage at the bottom. That's good. Lots of cards. I'll take those cards. And then, of course, we've got the alternative layout for the hero cards, as we saw earlier with the other set and the original, and of course Nyx. The Succubus Sword Mage. She does look pretty freaking cool. Even if you don't know who she is from another game, she looks pretty bloody awesome to play, I reckon. So, let's pop that away. So they were the stretch goals that came with the Apocolypse box. And we are nearly done now. So we have 2 additional expansions. We have the companions and furniture. It looks like we're doing the so we have some animals, companions, and then in the heroes pack, and then we have the 4 horsemen. As I mentioned, for those that don't want to have the masses of plastic, there was the option for the standees. Okay, so companions and furniture is a new expansion with miniatures for companions and furniture, making the game even more immersive. This is literally just extra bits for being able to set up on the board and give it that bit more table presence and pop as you're enjoying your hours and hours of experience. So we get 4 companion miniatures, 4 Drunagor miniatures, 4 pet miniatures, a stack of barrels, pile of crates, bookshelves, stone pillars, and stone fountain miniatures. So no gameplay content, it is purely cosmetic. Oh, someone's trying to escape there, look. Let's have a look. Whee! There we go. They are fantastic though, I have to say. They are great. Let's have a look. What have we got? A whole bunch of different folk at the top. Then we've got the companions. I don't know what a spiny companion is. That's pretty impressive. We've got like a bird and a dog and a wolf. We've got these. These are cauldrons, I believe. Oh no, yeah. Look like cauldrons. We've got our barrels, our crates. We've got our pillars. That's quite nice. Very detailed. And the bookshelves. Everyone loves a good bookshelf. They're great. They're going to be a delight to paint. It's a plastic cover. Okay, so that's cosmetic, completely cosmetic expansion. And then we have the world desperately needs more heroes, because as you've seen so far, we don't have enough heroes yet to play this game properly. We need more heroes to face the great evil, protect us from the upcoming age of darkness. So in this new expansion, you'll receive new heroes to choose from, and playing your campaign along with new classes. All new heroes included in this box have unique play styles and abilities, and they come all set to play with all components needed to get right into action. All the tokens needed to play with the new heroes are also included in this expansion, so you can easily play with all your Chronicles of Drunagor content. The heroes can be used in the base game or in any of the expansions. There we go. So this is all completely, fully compatible throughout the entirety of the campaign. Now what that does smack to me is there are elements of this that won't be compatible. But having said that, I believe on the Creative Game Studios website, there is a complete compatible breakdown of what can be used with what, how, etc. So they've even taken care of that. All of that is fully provided and catered for. Brilliant. So we've got a bunch more standees, banners. Don't know what banners are used for. Yeah, more conditions, etc. Some more new hero formats. Very good. And some more skill trees from Necromancer and Warlord. And some new heroes. Very good. And these are all heroes for play. That's the ticket. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see what we've got. And standees. Whoops! I've nailed my microphone under the chair. There we go. Let's try and move. Come on. There we go. The Valkyrie style hero there. has he got a little trumpet? He has. Is that a halfling? Can't be a halfling. That other halfling was flipping tiny. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, shall we? So I'm going to open these ones up. That's what I've done with all the others. So keep them all together. So we've got Mordred. We've heard that character before. The human necromancer. Got Gramosh, the orc shaman. We've got Brihit, the dwarf warlord. Azrael, human sword mage. And then on the flip side, we got Diana, the Valkyrie sword mage. There we go. Drix, the Efreet warlord. So we've seen an Efreet before. Draconian shaman, Sahara. And Sif, the Azurian necromancer. Wow, some really nice new unique races as well coming out in here. Not come across some of those before. So that's really nice to see. Very good. Always like the uniqueness. So there you go, so lots of new heroes to play. And then we have one final box, which is of course the big box. The huge chunks of plastic box. It is the 4 Horsemen. So completely cosmetic. Let's have a quick look at the artwork. Oops. Oh yeah. So there is nothing underneath. So that is the underneath of the box, as it were. No other creature in Drunagor is as terrifying and as powerful as the Varatash 4 Horsemen. Summoned by evil powers, these vile generals of darkness will stop at nothing in their personal pursuits of consuming the world of Drunagor. In this expansion, you will find the 4 miniatures for the strongest bosses in the game. If you want to add epicness to your game and improve the wow factor of your table, you will surely love the 4 Horsemen expansion. And that's what we've got, folks. Okay, not entirely sure. Let's have a look. I think there is a flappy tab here. Therefore, let's go with an insertion here and here. Excuse me. There we go. And then we have there and there. So I am aware, this is my final box that I'm opening. I'm aware I have 2 things missing. One of them, everyone's missing, which is an updated set of dice that I think the notion, the idea of the design was great. I think the implementation of making it happen, unfortunately, hasn't been quite as straightforward. So they're still in production. The other one is a set of 5 jet black dice that should have come with this, and unfortunately just hasn't arrived. So I've raised that as a ticket. That will arrive at some point. Right, okay. Put this off to the side. Let's have a look. So, who to start with? Oh my gosh. We'll have to dig out some plastic first. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Let us start with... Where is it? That's got to be Pestilence, hasn't it? Surely. That has got to be Pestilence. Just on his horseback. People screaming out beneath him. mean, that's very flexible, but the detail, the teeth, wow, done a great job. That's come out really well. That has come out really well. Okay, if that's pestilence, this is war. Whoop. Is it focusing in? There's a lot for it to focus in on, to be fair. Excellent. And then, oh my gosh, is this famine? Oh, one of these is famine and one of these is pestilence. I'm guessing this one is pestilence. The other one was famine. The people starving. Ooh. Look at this. It's got some dude caught up in its tail. Look at that. It's just great. Wow. Wow. Done such a tremendous, but yeah, it's just all the sort of the boils and everything on over this one is definitely okay. And then I've got no idea how I'm going to manage this one. Oops, a bit of extra plastic to hold it in place. So this is Death. So Death, she is atop her beast, her mount, her dragon. Is she coming into focus there? Yeah, there we go. And then of course the mount itself. I mean, that's just incredible, isn't it? It's just, wow. And you can see the size of my hand, the size of this. This is huge. Absolutely huge. Fantastic. Wow. Oh, let's have a look. There you go. So there's your hero. And there's your big boss. That is a proper big boss. It just about fit in the mouth of the dragon. Fantastic. Wow. Thoroughly impressed, folks. And that's it. That is the entirety. Wow. Oh, what is that hanging there? There we go. Woo! So, thank you for, if you stayed this far. Appreciate that. Was a long unboxing. That was a lot of content. I think that's probably the biggest game all in that I've purchased to date. But no, fantastic. Really looking forward to digging into this. Gameplay wise, looks brilliant. Really simple from an actual gameplay perspective. So there's the mechanisms. And then from there, it's all about the story, the theme, how does it carry across? That's what I'm really excited about. The whole notion of that darkness, that spreading and the impact in the gameplay, and how do you tactically overcome that and work around that. Really excited to see how all that pans out. So hopefully you'll see me and you could join me at the table and we could play a couple of those games. Or see me play a couple of those games. But yeah, I mean, you can see this huge stack here. The stack here, it's just vast. Yeah, and here we go. This is the if I put her out for you, here we go. And one of our heroes. There you go. Just fantastic. So looking forward to getting this played, getting it to the table. I'm really looking forward to the core box. First of all, listen to that full narration. Fortella do such a fantastic job. And I really enjoy playing Gloomhaven with the narration. I've got the Frosthaven narration, and a couple of the other games as well. Highly recommend checking them out if you've not done to date. Worth a look for sure. Otherwise, as always, thank you very much for joining me at the table, and I'll hopefully see you again soon. Thanks for now.